Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. The Guardians have a 6-game lead on the Kansas City Royals. They start a weekend set tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. Very few tickets are left. Saturday, tomorrow, sold out. Friday and Sunday, tonight and Sunday, limited tickets are available. Huge series. We're starting to look forward, like middle to end of July. We know there are holes on this team, and there are definitely trade rumors that are out there. One of them from Joel Sherman, who's a great baseball writer for the New York Post. He is saying that the rumor right now is he thinks Starling Marte is the answer to the Guardians' problems. That if they could bring him in on a trade, that this would make a huge difference for the Guardians in their playoff push. You guys buying that?
I mean, depending on what it's going to cost them.
That's what I want to know as well.
I mean, is this, we look at it, we still need a couple more arms. And, when you're trading guys from a position of, all right, well, we got some prospects, but, I mean, do we really need hitting or pitching more? And what is it going to cost them? Now, listen, Starling Marte, listen, I love his power. I love what he would bring. I think that it would solidify a lot of stuff. You can slide guys down like Will Brennan, who has a little surprising power. And, you throw him in with a Naylor, with a Ramirez, that would look tremendous. But do they have enough to get him and get greedy and get me another pitcher, too?
Isn't he up there in age? He's like...
He is,
yeah. So he up there in age, and I think he's had...
better. For the record, I don't think this is the answer.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that, he's had maybe, two 20 home run season, which... For an outfielder, that's kind of the number that we're looking for. But call me crazy, the way that our outfield has been playing lately,
yeah,
it makes me okay with that part of the outfield hitting right now. That's not the biggest concern to me. I think G's right. The pitching is what I'm worried about. Maybe an everyday shortstop is something that I'm worried about. But I don't think that the outfield is they're fine the way that they're playing right now. So I would not make this trade.
For me, you're going to have to give up prospects. No matter what you do, there's going to be pieces. And I say prospects. I mean, who knows? Maybe someone would take Arias and Bo Naylor off our hands. They're not really prospects anymore.
Maybe Straw.
Yeah, I doubt it. But their value has definitely gone down now that they've got a sample size and it hasn't been what it was expected to be. For me, I don't want to discuss anything when it comes to trades unless it involves a pitcher, because that's the starting point for the Guardians. They need another arm. And I know Gavin Williams is in the pipeline and he's coming soon, but what is he, he's had 2 or 3 setbacks during his rehab from the initial injury. The elbow just keeps, it's an issue. So I don't even know when he does come up how much we can rely on him. This much I know. The Guardians offensively have made such a jump from where they were last year. I think they're either at or above where they were in 2022 when they made the playoffs and beat the Rays in the first wildcard series. I think that their offense is going to be okay. Now the Texas Rangers are kind of my yardstick. They won it last year, and they did it kind of an unconventional way. The Diamondbacks made it to the World Series. They did it in a very unconventional way. I'm not sure you need to have a lineup that looks like the Dodgers or the Yankees with all of these sluggers. Pitching neutralizes hitting in the playoffs. So please, Cleveland, I know you're going to make deals. And maybe you do need an outfielder or a utility infielder or a shortstop that can give you a little bit more in the way of average. But all the moves that they're making, the big moves they should be making, need to bring pitching help to town. Yeah. And last I checked, Starling Marte can't pitch. Yeah. So I'm good on that trade. I'd like to move off of that rumor and if we can.
GMJ, we don't want that.
Push that into the weeds.
On.
And by the way, I do think last week we had the GM of the Guardians, Mike Chernoff, on. And he said, listen, I'm going to spend most of my available time from now until the trade deadline talking to teams about deals.
Yep.
I trust this organization's front office more than any of the other front offices in town.
Yeah.
What they continually do and consistently do with 1/3 of the paycheck of the big boys is astounding. You make up for a lack of money with brilliance in scouting and deal making. And that's where and by the way, we haven't discussed this. They do own the #1 pick in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, like I've been looking at that.
And this Caglione guy in Florida is hitting one big home run after another in big games. Like, I don't know that they can draft a guy and expect him to play in the major leagues this year. It rarely happens, particularly for position players, but it is the #1 overall pick, and it's the first time they've ever had that in franchise history. Who knows? Maybe they get that piece with the first pick in the draft. Who knows?
I mean, I trust the front office. Like I said, after talking to Mike last week, he made me feel like whatever move they make, I'm good with it because he's on it. He's locked in to what's going on, and he knows the team better than anybody. So whatever they decide to do, it's probably going to be the right move.
And you know what? It might include moving on from some guys that we have talked a lot about.
Yeah.
You know, Manzardo, last year the deal they made, and it disappointed me greatly. They traded Savali, who was at the time our best pitcher, to Tampa for Manzardo. And everybody thought, okay, well, we're going to get the better of that in the long run. Well, Manzardo came up, and I know he's young and it's early, but he had a month here, and he did not display the same hitting prowess he displayed in Columbus. He can tear the cover off the ball at AAA. That tells you the difference between, particularly in pitching, AAA and major leagues. The guys in AAA that are pitching aren't good enough to be here. The guys that are here are a lot better than the AAA guys. And I'm not saying they're going to move off Manzardo, but we're going to have to give something to get something. We're taking a break. When we come back, how miserable are we? And by we, I mean the Cleveland Browns fan base. There's a new list, and I'll tell you we rank high on that list. We discuss next.